Can assure you whatever comes out of here is accurate. Under my watch, it is accurate. I've gone through some of the previous accident reports released by my predecessors. I think they're accurate. As far as accuracy is concerned, I don't think we should doubt that. One thing you have to understand is this. A pilot doesn't have his medicals as at the time of crash. There is nothing to argue about that. If you check the record 1 million times, you will see the medical has expired. So be it 10 years, be it 15 years, that fact still remains. There is nothing to change that. So in terms of accuracy, the only thing I can say, we have to make sure we release this accident right on time. Very, very important, because we are to prevent future occurrence.
Now, leading the AIB, as the commissioner of the AIB, do you come under pressure from some of these airlines or possibly financial inducements to distort or doctor some of these reports, or as the case might be in the budgets, padding of these reports?
I just don't see it happening. The only reason why I could see, I mean, there are two things. One, managerial expertise. Two, funding. These are the two things that really push any company up or down. You can have good funding. If you don't have good managerial expertise, you're not going anywhere. You know, the third one, which is a given, is the grace of God. But, you know, so the other two, it depends. There must be a balance between the two. So if we're not being funded properly, of course, there is no way you're going to work, because you're not going to, you need money to function like any other business.
It's on record that most of your accident laboratories are dysfunctional. So what's the assurance of getting an authentic report from the AIB?
I'll put it clear, because most people don't understand this, I want to say. AIB as of today has two laboratories. One is a material science lab, and two is a flight safety laboratory. Now, our flight safety laboratory is what we use to download the CVRs and the FDRs, all this, what you call black boxes. The material science is just to detect the metallurgy, to investigate further to see the state of the metal, was it post or pre the accident, etc., etc.
We understand that there is insufficient human capacity to drive the laboratories of the AIB. So what's the possibility that the issue of accuracy is not being undermined?
I will put it this way. What the AIB has been doing in the past is to call for help. Like the Dana crash, the CVR was downloaded abroad, not in Nigeria. And the analysis was done abroad. On the associated one, we used our flight safety lab to do the downloads, and experts were called in from Canada to assist AIB. So all I'm trying to do, and since then, in the last 2 years, the lab has been down. It's not been working, and this is one of the reasons why we had to do what we got to do, because we don't have money. We had to look elsewhere. So we brought in the Singaporean and the Bagaya, that's the Banjul Accord group, the accident investigation group for West Africa, to help us to train our investigators so that we can build capacity. And that's what we've done in that regard. Rather than be calling for help externally every time there's an issue, let's build homegrown and develop our own capacity in-house so that we can help other West African countries by and large.
Going by the ICAO standard, what should be the standard time frame to release the report of an air mishap?
I've heard this many times. I will say to you categorically, there is no time frame for anybody to conclude on accident investigation. It depends on several factors.
You think the Nigerian factor is not unusual?
Well, what I will say to you is some have been delayed unnecessarily. I will say that, due to paucity of funds. I will say, and maybe some managerial style kind of. But it's for me, you need to have adequate funding to be able to deliver on your mandate. If you look at AIB, under UN Charter, we cannot charge for what we do. We are not like every other agency that charge for their services. Even NCA charge for their crew license. Anything you want to do in NCA, they give you an invoice, you pay. We cannot invoice anybody for what we do, and that makes it difficult. Ideally, government should fund AIB 100%, and that is the way it is all over the world.
Many people are accusing the AIB that its operation is like medicine after death. Isn't it possible for the AIB to be more proactive rather than being retroactive in its reports?
Well, if you look at our mandate, the way aviation is all set up all over the world in accordance with ICAO standards, you have the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the civil aviation in any country. They are the police there to regulate the industry. Why accident investigation? It's about investigating accident to prevent, to come up with safety recommendations to prevent future occurrence. And this is why we are the only approved agency to investigate the Civil Aviation Authority. We're the only one.
But can it be more proactive?
Is more of a post-mortem, really. It's not about, that's function of NCA. NCA is the one to ensure pilot licenses, you don't fly if you don't have the right licenses, procedures are right, you're operating your aircraft in accordance with the approved operational standards. That is the work of Civil Aviation Authority. We complement. It's only two of us that represent the state. The state in this case is Nigeria as a country. Every other agency like FAN, NAMA, they are service providers. But two of us, we represent the state. One is to regulate and one is to investigate accidents and come up with safety recommendations to prevent future occurrence.
You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comment on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, setting the record straight on flight accident investigation in Nigeria.